9 years ago, one of the greatest TV shows in history came into our lives. Today, we're gonna go investigate The Walking Dead. We are leaving the bridge and starting our quest for freedom. There is a water tower up ahead. Our day is going to be spent traversing Senoia and a lot of the filming locations for The Walking Dead. Here we are entering Senoia. By the way, I want to point out the sign, "Welcome to Senoia, the perfect setting for life." Also, the perfect setting for a TV show centered around death and escaping it. And here we are, approaching the water tower. We have arrived in Senoia, Georgia, also home of many of the film sites for The Walking Dead. Right behind me is what was used for Woodbury.
Welcome to Woodbury.
You see this marker on the floor. And we're gonna head into the Waking Dead Cafe, get a little coffee. Consenting adults, also filmed here. And free jack. We're gonna go in the Waking Dead Cafe, get a little coffee, start our day. We get a 7-pound chocolate pudding. And it looks like everybody from the show has stopped in here for coffee. We're going on a tour today that's out of the Georgia Mercantile Company. And the tour is run by the Georgia Tour Company. And we're gonna go check in. So we're at the Georgia Tour Company. We're gonna get started in a few minutes on our tour. But of course the most bizarre things always happen, right? So this is our tour guide, James.
Welcome to Woodbury.
And he immediately says when we walk through the door that it's part of the Cheap Seat Nation. And believe it or not, the governor watches our videos on...
All the time.
On Disney.
On Disney.
The governor is a big Disney fan.
Yes, I have a good heart. I have a good heart.
Tries to rule even-handedly.
I do.
It just goes to show. We're going to check out the tour in a little bit. Bring you guys along.
Cool.
So when you come in, they have a pin board of where everybody's from that's taking this tour. Yikes. I've got all kinds of merchandise in here. Team Andy Lincoln, Lucille pens.
It should be available for you tomorrow.
And we're off. This crosswalk was a major crosswalk or barrier in Woodbury that was littered with zombies over in this area during season 3. One way in and out. And this gazebo is where Andrea sprung into action to stab a zombie in the neck. And when Glenn and Maggie were held captive, Rick and Daryl and team kneeled down beneath this tree next to those tracks and spied to get their way in past the barrier. And in the show, this was the Woodbury Coffee and Cafe, that they had to cover that sign with a fake sign, as well as replace all of these signs with Welcome to Woodbury, which ironically, Woodbury is an actual city in Georgia that's about 20 miles away. So while Terminus is actually in Atlanta, the scene where Rick was in the train car and said they're screwing with the wrong people was actually filmed right here with Alexandria behind it, and right across from Alexandria is Woodbury. This was the bank of Woodbury, the bookstore, the flower shop, all fake fronts. The only thing that's real is the bricks on the bottom. Everything else, movie magic. These two buildings were built after season 3. And back here, this was all grass. This was the town hall, which was just a set piece. There is a Ferrari parked outside of Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus' restaurant. We're going to eat lunch there later. But check that out. I'm thinking maybe Mr. Nicotero might be in the house. This was the governor's residence in Woodbury. Top 3 windows. But we never see inside the governor's residence from this building. The rest was done on a soundstage. This area here is one of the barricades. This was the barricade where the governor was hitting golf balls off of the top of the barrier while Merle was there into the walkers. This section over here was actually used in season 7 with the kingdom. So they do use these towns over and over again for different seasons and different sets. This house has been used 4 different times in 4 different episodes from 4 different angles. This is where Milton was working on zombies. This is where Andrea was held captive. This is where Glenn and Maggie were held captive. And right outside here, later, is when Glenn released balloons to let everybody know that he and Enid were okay outside Alexandria, which ironically is right past these train tracks and around the way.
At the studio.
This is Alexandria.
They built it in 3 sections in 1 day, so that is now for those who have not seen season 8, I can't say anymore. All right, let's all walk this way.
And this windmill over here is actually used in season 9, upcoming. Has not yet been seen in any of the episodes. This is the way to Terminus. And here's some more Alexandria safe zone with the walls up. This is the house that Rick and Carl hold themselves up in. And when Rick falls into a coma, Carl lures a couple of walkers away. Carl kills the walkers outside of this house. Goes back to the safe house. This is the infamous pudding house. Carl crawls out that window, sits on the roof, and eats 112 ounces of pudding. Down this way is the backside of Alexandria, which is funny because it's on Morgan Street. Coming closer to Alexandria, the stick in the ground over there is where they built the tunnel to go underneath Alexandria. Check out the Welcome to Alexandria sign. That's from season 9. They can't go in Alexandria now because they're actually filming still. And since they have open sets, they have to stay on the outside. This is Alexandria. These are all real buildings, except for this. This was the church until last year. Now it's the town hall. Top right is where Deanna resided and interviewed all the people that came into Alexandria. And this windmill is in front of a couple new structures here. I suspect the windmill may be a result of the Whisperers, perhaps, the technology coming into play this season. This is where the fence was broken into to get into Alexandria. This is where the watchtower was and where people would sneak in and out of Alexandria as well. More tracks heading into Terminus. This was the tunnel that Tyrese went through. It was actually fake, and now it's gone. All right, we just wrapped up our tour with the Georgia Tour Company. That was absolutely amazing. Saying, if you are a Walking Dead fan, or even if you're a fan of just seeing movie shoot locations or TV shoot locations, that tour was ridiculous. Awesome. About 2.5 hours. And it was a guy photobombing me. The tour was phenomenal. About 2.5 hours, about 2 miles worth of distance. We went all around, so all the different filming locations. And now we are still in Woodbury. We're gonna get something to eat, like a Nic and Norman's, and maybe see the Walking Dead store, which is over here somewhere. We are gonna catch a bite to eat in Nic and Norman's. This is owned by Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus, formerly owned by Zach Brown. Love this picture in Nic and Norman's. It's kind of like The Shining, but it's replaced with all cast members from The Walking Dead. That picture is awesome. It's Scott. This is the menu, Nic and Norman's. They're known for gourmet burgers. They also have some awesome starters. And they do have entrees as well. So Mary's gonna get the Greg's Pick, which is a blend of ground chuck, short rib, and brisket patty. All of the burgers kind of come that way. This is with blackened seasoning, blue cheese, baby blend lettuce, caramelized onions, and tomato. I'm gonna get the classic burger, which is the same type of patty with lettuce, onions, tomatoes, and pickles. I'll scratch those pickles and get it with some cheese. I like that the drinks are served in mason jars. These are the hamburgers. Look, they're like stamped on top for Nic and Norman's. Looks good. All right, we are wrapping up. Hamburgers were awesome. Lots of like speakeasy, like flapper 40s music playing over the stereo. They do have a bunch of souvenirs here too. Tervis glasses. You can get an autograph book from Norman Reedus. Nic and Norman buttons, snapback hats, beanies, shirts, sweatshirts. So, lunch, awesome. By the way, the tour was phenomenal again. I can't say enough about it. I did not film the entire tour. There are a lot of stories that are told and anecdotes and a lot of little details that you're going to find out if you go on the tour. I would really encourage you to go do the full tour. Well worth the money. I think it's 25 bucks a person to go do. Absolutely awesome. They run it multiple times a day. Alright, they got a last stop in Woodbury. It's going to be the Woodbury shop, aka the official Walking Dead store. This place is loaded wall to wall. Walking Dead. This is pretty awesome. It could be like Norman Reedus. Terminus aprons. Poor Glenn. This is a pretty awesome bracelet. It's like a bat. It's Lucille.
With the name on it. This is awesome.
Walking Dead. Crossbow. And if Daryl dies, we riot. Get some chocolate pudding. 112 ounces. We have the figures. We stopped with Daryl, Michonne, and Rick. We don't have the Glenn figure. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
This is just like G.I. Joe. Are you kidding me? What? This is freaking amazing. Bobbleheads? Oh, you can get caught up on the novels. Or you could eat some dried zombie skin or zombie jerky. I like this shirt. And I've got some Senoia shirts here. I know I said it incorrectly earlier. It's not Senoia, it's Senoia. Underneath everything I see a sheriff's bag. What if it has Rick's guns in it? We're going downstairs because there is a Walking Dead museum. Oh look, Bob signed it.
Bicycle girl.
Bicycle Girl. Melissa. Andrew lives. Aaron. Michonne. Eugene. Don't open. Dead inside. Don't dead. Open inside. This was a prop mirror from season 2, episode 10. Prop knives. Here's the family photo from the governor.
The governor's dead wife.
Governor's dead wife was here, as well as his daughter, Penny. Here's Daryl's original motorcycle. And here's a jail cell.
I'm in quarantine.
Don't get bit. What's this? Quarantine Cell Block, Season 4.
That's unknown.
Here's the W zombie. I like they have the video screens of the heads that were in the aquarium. And this, authentic pieces of Woodbury. Pieces of Town Hall. And the last prop here is the dental chair that Andrea was strapped to when she was in Woodbury. Alright, we are leaving the Woodbury area. We're gonna go try to check to see another location. So we're kind of driving down a back road here. Alright, just breaking in here for one moment, because when we went down this long country road, we were actually looking for Herschel's farm. And it's off the path where you can't really see it in a distance. And the barn was a set piece at the time, but they do use Herschel's farm still for filming the hilltop scenes. But unbeknownst to us, as we were going down that long path, we ended up at Raleigh Studios. Raleigh Studios is where they film a lot of the interior and the other scenes for The Walking Dead. It's owned by AMC Studios now. So when we pull up here, we're actually pulling up to Raleigh Studios, but we didn't know what we were pulling up to at the time. We actually thought we were pulling up over by Herschel's farm, which was further back up the road a bit. So sorry for the confusion, but that's what this is. And I think that's going to be it for shooting locations for Walking Dead for us. I'd very much like to see the other shooting locations within the city of Atlanta and around thereabouts, to see the jail and those types of things in Terminus. But it's 2 o'clock now, and we've got about a 7-hour driving experience to go home, so we're gonna get out of here. Alright, that's gonna do it for us for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all of your likes and your comments and your subscriptions. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Have a great night. See you guys. My new home.